This was surprising news for a lot of people. U.S. regulators now saying one of the main ingredients in many popular decongestants might not be effective. A 16-member advisory panel to the Food and Drug Administration voted unanimously that oral phenylephrine does not work in treating congestion from a cold or allergy. So for a closer look at what this means, we're joined by Dr. Teresa Punn. She's an allergist and an immunologist. Welcome to Your Morning.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you for having me.
Oral phenylephrine is a main ingredient in many of the most popular decongestants, including some of the products from Benadryl, Sudafed, Vicks, and Tylenol. What is the FDA panel saying makes it ineffective?
What they're saying is that this drug, phenylephrine, in the oral form, actually works no better than placebo, which means essentially a sugar pill, in fighting the symptoms that people are taking them for, either their colds or their allergies.
So some reports say that products with this active ingredient make up 4/5 of oral decongestants on the market. I guess people are wondering, why would a medication be so widely used for so long if it doesn't work?
So this is a great example, Anne-Marie, of how science changes the more we study. So in the past, the studies that were done at that time, meeting the standards at that time, were shown that the oral phenylephrine was effective. However, over time, we've had more and more studies, and what they have demonstrated is, in fact, no. When we do studies in today's time, using our modern standards, we find that it performs no better than a standard sugar pill. The placebo effect is really important to study when designing these trials because a lot of people feel better just knowing that they took something. Now, this is not a fake feeling. This is absolutely a true experience, but that's why you have to measure the effect of any given drug against that known placebo effect. And I also want to say that this is really important to understand that intravenous phenylephrine is a great drug. It works effectively, and anesthesiologists in the OR can use as little as 100 micrograms to get an effect on blood pressure. In contrast, the oral form, it's metabolized by the gut, and very little of the drug is effective. Very little of the drug is bioavailable, and even as much as 40 milligrams of the oral drug can have no effect.
Okay, so people who suffer from the symptoms, we all know somebody who does. Now that we know this information, what should customers be looking for when they go to buy an over-the-counter medicine for a cold or for an allergy? Is there any relief?
So for an allergy, there are lots of great over-the-counter options. We have so many different types of antihistamines. We have inhaled nasal steroids. We have lots of great options for them. For cold sufferers, again, I feel bad, but I think you have to go back to some simple soups, some simple rest, some nasal mist, and a lot of the time you just have to ride it out.
This is going to be disappointing news for a lot of people, especially as we're heading into, you're laughing, but heading into cold and flu season. Do you expect Canada to follow suit in its classification of products that include phenylephrine? There are different laws, I understand, between Canada and the U.S. and how we can market and what we can say about products. Do you think Canada can and should be changing that?
I think Canada and other countries will be following suit as well, because even though regulations that govern countries are unique to that country, all of the medical professionals are relying on the same body of medical literature. So those standards within the medical community are quite solid. And it would be surprising to me that other countries do not follow suit on this.
So if these don't work, what other medications or treatments do you recommend for allergies and colds? You mentioned like nasal sprays or having some soups. But if somebody needs some instant relief, like they're really suffering, what options are there out there for them?
So for the allergy sufferers, again, we have lots and lots of antihistamines on the market. And I have a lot of patients asking me which is the best one over the counter. And I honestly describe them like a pair of blue jeans. On the rack, they all look the same, but you have to try them to see which one suits you best. I've had entire families where one brother will say one over-the-counter antihistamine is amazing, and his sister will scoff and she uses a different one instead. You do have to try them out to find the one that works for you best.
All right, Dr. Teresa Punn, it may be challenging information to hear for consumers, but it is good to have accurate information. I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.